Hello, my name is Arie van Balen. This story is about an idea and theory about the possible underlying simplicity of complexity. A few months ago I developed a theory and a method on this. I'd like to share my ideas with you.
Hello. This story is about an ideal and theory about the possible simplicity of complexity. A few months ago I developed a theory on this complicated subject.
And more specifically, on the question how complex issues repeatedly can arise. While nobody really wants this.
For many years I worked on analyzing and solving complex problems. In particular, complex adaptive systems.
These systems are constantly engaged how they can adapt to changing circumstances.
Most people and organizations are convinced that most changes come from outside, and they think that they have not much influence on what happens in their own and wider context.
This is quite understandable. Most people have not learned to look and think from a wider perspective, the perspective of a system. This dominant thinking is based on a subject-object relation. It's a way of linear thinking.
I am afraid that this perception of reality is not appropriate when we have to deal with complex issues and systems.
What do you mean by this?
We human beings have learned to think in terms of cause and effect, and in terms of right or wrong. Human beings consider themselves as independent individuals and not as actors in all kinds of systems, and have mostly no idea how complex issues can arise and what the cause is.
What is your basic idea? Do you mean, if we know what we're doing? I mean, something like that famous quote of Mr. Albert Einstein. You can't solve a problem with the same kind of thinking when you caused it?
Yes, that is the idea. If we learn how we unwittingly create our own complex problems, then we're probably near the underlying simplicity of complexity. In systems it is actually only about interactions, and interaction patterns, and about relationships. Relationships between the actors in a system, and relationships between systems and between networks. At all levels, if we want to understand how a system works, we have to look on a more abstract level to interaction.
The situation in general, on this moment, looks from my point of view, a lot like a devilish spiral. I mean, today's complex solutions are maybe the new and more complex issues of tomorrow.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right. Absolutely right. We can do this much better. This can be done as we are prepared to learn more about how a system works.
So your message is to share ideas, knowledge and train skills?
Yes. My ideal and theory on the underlying simplicity is in a nutshell, if we have much more sight and grip on our own complex issues.
And if we know what the elaboration is of interaction patterns in our systems, we create less complexity.
Okay, let's continue. We have to explain some more how this can be done.